Yo guys, what's going on? Robert Warshack here, and we're going to be going over the best decks since the new Hearthstone mini-set. However, I do want to address, I apologize for the lack of YouTube videos and uploads lately, along with streaming Hearthstone. There was a hurricane that just flew through Florida. I live in Florida, and we got wrecked. So it's been no power, no internet, as you know. The family members and stuff also need help with their houses because there was some flooding, a lot of flooding for them. So again, for the next little bit, there'll be kind of a weird schedule for us as I try to ease back into things, but also help out the family and whatnot. So also we have the giveaway winner for this month, which will transition into that now. So this past month's lowest commented video is here at 23 comments. We're going to select a random commenter from this video to win $50 free from me into your Blizzard Battle.net balance for you to do whatever that you want to do with $50 free. Only 23 comments, and your odds are really good. So we're going to put this video link in here. We're not going to include replies. We do not allow duplicates, and we are going to load. We have 23 comments here, and we're going to randomly pick a winner. Sweet Lord. His comment was bussin'. All right, so congratulations, Sweet Lord, you have won yourself $50 free, and good luck to the next giveaway winner. Again, all you have to do to enter is make sure you're subbed to the channel, you like the video, and you leave a comment, and then at the end of the month, the lowest commented video, I will do the same thing, and you have good chances here. I mean, 50 free bucks out of 23 people, those are literally insane odds in your favor. All right, so let's take a look at some of these juicy new decks. Again, these decks, they're still being refined. It's only been a couple days since the mini set did come out, so these guys are bound to change. The meta is still shifting quite a bit. We'll have a better look in about a week, week and a half, 2 weeks, and then we get like a good representation of what's actually performing well and what's gonna fall off, right? So right now we have this insane, crazy, it's like not a Highlander deck, but it runs Highlander cards like the Reno Jackson. It also runs the Countress, so we do have some anti-synergy here, but it's a super control deck. So you have like all the control parts of the deck. You can reorder your deck as you see fit with the new order in the court card, so you can guarantee you can get to your Jailers and your Lightforge Carriel, and then you basically just draw all the good cards after that. So you just live in the early game. When you've stabilized, you have the mana, you play Order in the Court, and then you start pumping out your win condition. This deck seems incredibly spicy. I've seen quite a bit of it on ladder, and it seems to be pretty good. Granted, there are glaring weaknesses, like any weapon destruction kind of absolutely destroys Carriel, but will we see the meta shift to more weapon destruction, or will there just be a better Jailer deck, or just a better deck than this Control Paladin right now? We don't know. But this is a very popular deck people are playing. I'm not sure who popularized this particular Pure Paladin list, but it is very spicy and very fun if you're interested in trying some Pure Paladin with some neutral cards in there. Next one's going to be the Aggro Demon Hunter. This bad boy, very, very fast. They printed probably the best aggressive card that I think I've seen in the past couple years. It is the Sightless right here. It's a 4-mana 5/4 Battlecry. Both players draw until they have 5 cards. With this deck having such a low curve and stuff like Dispose the Evidence, where you're choosing to put cards back into your library. Same thing with the Biblimite. Your hand's going to be very, very low, and you're just going to be able to every turn be able to draw a ton of cards with stuff like Magnifying Glaive, which it draws until you have 3 cards. And then if you just don't draw Magnifying Glaive, which was one of the problems with aggressive DH, was you used all your cards and you had no follow-up, and you were dependent on this Glaive. Now you have a second follow-up, which is the Sightless. So this deck, absolutely insane burst. Tons of aggression. Is going to run over. This is like the new Face Hunter. This is like everything Face Hunter wants, but it's Demon Hunter. It's Hunter plus Demon. So this deck, very, very aggressive. Like I said, also pretty cheap. Only has 1 legendary in the whole deck. I guess 2 legendaries if you count Lady. And yeah, so very good deck here. Very quick. And I do believe the Sightless put this deck on the map because this deck needed one more like really good card. And I think that was it. The next deck, or 2 decks we're going to take a look at, are 2 Hunters. This one being the Beast Hunter that a ton of people are playing right now. It just curves out. Even though Hunter has like almost no draw, they don't seem to care about that at all, because every time I play against a Hunter, their hand never empties. They always somehow have a shit ton of cards in their hand and a lot of cards on board, and they always have the perfect card every turn when I play against Hunters. And this is a list that a lot of people are playing. So as we can see here, it's got a very aggressive, nice early game start. and then an insane super value in game with stuff like Mountain Bear and the Hydrolodon and the Huntsman. They have Tavish, they have fucking Devourers, they got King Crush, they got Wing Commander, they have Sire. I mean, I don't know how Hunter does it, but they're doing it, and they're doing it with this deck here. Very good deck here, very interesting deck, and Hunter has gone a long way. Before it was Face Hunter was the best deck, and now we're at a 40 card mid-range Beast Hunter. So if you like Hunter, you like mid-range decks, you like giant animals, this should be the deck for you. Moving down to another Hunter deck that in my opinion is still in the making, but actually shows quite a bit of promise. And this is going to be the Rat Hunter, or the Token Hunter. It has a lot of the cards that we've previously seen in the 40 card list, but it doesn't have like the Mountain Bears and the King Crush. Doesn't really rely on the pet collectors or any of that. It focuses around stuff that puts a lot of tiny tokens on the board. Originally there was Rat's Nest in this deck, but I found that to be a little too slow. The Scent Finder seemed to be good enough for me, along with the 2 Rats of Extraordinary Size. Again, I modified it a little bit to add some draw with Kodobane in here. So this is like Pheno's rat list that he was playing day 1 with some Warshack modifications to it. This is the list I was playing, and it seemed to do pretty well. We added some Shell Shots for early game. A lot of people playing aggro, and Shell Shot is like one of the best Hunter defensive anti-aggro tools that the deck has. So this is Shell Shot's been actually insane in this deck. And we've got stuff like the Blast Fisher, which we call it Fish in the Barrel. It does 2 damage for to each random enemy. Repeat for each one of your beasts. So if you have 6 little Rat-a-tatas down, this is going to do quite a bit of damage to your opponent. And you don't even have to wait till 6 beasts. You can play this on curve and do a lot of burst damage that way. And pretty much everything in the deck is a beast, besides like Sire, Denathrius, and Sylvanas. But these guys are your infused cards, which is very important because summoning a lot of tokens buffs up Sire, and you're going to be able to kill your opponent in 1 turn. It also runs the new Shadehound. Whenever this attacks, give your other beast +2/+2, infuse 3, gains rush. I actually rated this card pretty bad. I did not think this card was going to be very good. I am surprised it's good. I don't know if this deck is going to stick around because it's still being tested and played. The other Beast Hunter may just be better, but this guy was surprising to me. 2/2 on beasts, and the amount of beasts that you could summon with Hunter. Like basically, this makes a board every turn, just like Imp Warlock, and if you don't deal with it, you're going to lose. And I didn't think it was going to be that hard to deal with that many Hunter tokens, but I didn't think of Rats of Extraordinary Size and the Scent Finder and the Rat's Nest. I mean, there's just so many cards that fill the board with 1/1s, and if even just one of those board lives, you're going to take a lot of damage because of this card here. So Rat Hunter, actually pretty good in my opinion, and there's something there for sure. The next deck we're going to take a look at is a Imp Curse Warlock. This one is not my build at all. Mick Banterface hit rank 1 legend with this deck, so obviously it has to be pretty good if someone hits rank 1 legend with the deck. It's running a couple of the new cards. We got the Arson here, which is choose a minion destroyed after your hero takes damage. Of course, you have got like Flame Imp synergy in here. You've got the hero power. There's a lot of ways to deal damage to yourself and clear off things that you weren't probably going to be able to clear off before. Like I said, it does run that curse package, which is really, really good. I didn't think the curse package was actually going to fit into the Imp Warlock, and that's like not something you run an aggro deck, but it also runs the control cards, and it works out really good. The only problem is if you draw all the curse stuff and no imps, or you draw all the imps and no curse stuff, it could lead to some really wacky feeling games, or it's just the deck doesn't really function how it's supposed to. But with the amount of draw that Warlock has and the ability to draw a ton with Impending Catastrophe, it just takes really 1 good draw turn to win. This deck runs the Sylvanas. A lot of people run Sire Denathrius in this type of deck. Again, this isn't my list. This is just a rank 1 Mick Banterface deck, and obviously it has to be pretty darn good. And I know Imp Warlock is a very popular deck along with the Curse version, so yeah, very spicy deck here, and apparently very, very good. Our last deck that we're going to be taking a look at is another Demon Hunter deck. As we know, we love Relic Demon Hunters. I personally have really been enjoying the relics and all the different variation of Relic Demon Hunter that you can build, whether it's aggro, mid-range, control, like hyper relics, and now the additions of School Teachers and Venomous Scorpid has been very interesting as well. Lee 1K hit top 50 with a slightly different build than this. I actually added in some far watch posts, the Fell Barrage, to the deck to give it a little bit more early game consistency and clearing off some of that stuff. We also added in Ambassador Phelan, which has been quite awesome with the Jailer. So I'm actually going to be posting a video on this deck very, very soon. This deck probably one of my favorites, definitely one of the most fun I've played thus far, and being able to go like Jailer into Phelan and then draw colossal minions that are all immune is pretty sick. And the deck performed again really well as well. So you have like the Relic win condition, you have the burn win condition in the deck, and then you also have just late game chunky minions with Sire Dynaslius, Artificer, Zelang, having Zelang be immune and all the tentacles be immune. They just bump up every turn and just keep zapping. Zelang plus the Jailer is absolutely nuts. So really enjoying this deck here, and hopefully you guys find some success with it as well. So with that, those are the best decks that I've played and the most fun decks I've played thus far. If there's anything spicy that I didn't cover that you think is pretty good, be sure to leave that in the comment section below. As always, I'll catch you in the next video. I'm Robert Warshack, and happy whatever the hell day it is.